It's the opening of the film. It's not done. That's just a raw, kind of rough cut. But that's how confident I feel in the film to show it in a public place, because we have a winner of a film. And it's interesting, and it's fresh, and most of all, it respects the talent that is attached to it. So, any other questions for this panel as we start to wind it down here? Anything else? You got to see the first of this footage.
What is basically the plot of Death House? Because that looks really disturbing.
Good. The plot is pretty simple. Death House itself is a federal prison, like an Area 51 kind of prison, and it holds the world's worst, including at the bottom of its 9th level, a group known as the Five Evils. Gunnar wrote them originally as 4, but I added a woman, so they flesh out the 5 points of the pentagram, and they are in the bottom, like 1 mile into the earth. 2 young agents, Courtney Palm and Cody Longo, are going through Death House on a tour, and something happens inside the prison and the entire prison shuts down. Very much like a Jurassic Park situation, and the dinosaurs get out. The problem is, these are the monsters that get out. Now you notice Tony is not in the prison. He's got a whole other agenda going on. That's why he says, you're not going there. Death House is just over. You'll find out in the movie. Death House is over the hill, okay? But there's a reason why people are screaming up through that grate in the ground, and there's a definite answer as to the black stuff that is on his hands, okay? So what happens is Cody and Courtney are stuck inside the prison with Dee Wallace, and the only way out is down, to go to the Five Evils. Once they are to the Five Evils, because the reason why they go to them is because Kane Hodder is chasing them, okay? Kane plays C, a neo-Nazi who has dabbled in Nazi occultism. And he has a very odd relationship with Courtney Palm. And he's pursuing them, also looking for the Five Evils. And then the big confrontation is, of course, on the 9th level, which Dante's 9 levels of hell. So, 9 circles of hell. So there's a lot to this movie. It's one of those you're gonna have to watch like a couple times to pick up everything. That's what we want. Instead of just going, okay, we took your money, get out of the theater. We want you to come back, and we want you to buy the DVD to pass on to your kids. And that's one other thing I do wish to say. Buy DVDs, support the people here, because streaming and digital is scary, because one day they can edit those things. If it's all out there in the cloud, it can be changed. Imagine Mel Brooks's Blazing Saddles being altered, okay, because somebody was offended by it. At least if it's on DVD and still on its 35mm print, we still have a record of it. And that's why I don't want to see DVD just go away. So we want this to be an heirloom. We want it to be passed down. Thank you. Are there any other questions before we wind down? Yeah.
Adrienne Barbeau was one of my favorite all-time actresses. Does she appear or just do the voiceover?
Adrienne does the voice of the Death House computer. We did this as a direct nod to Escape from New York. If you notice even the line that she says, follow the yellow line. That's when Kurt Russell was being walked in on Liberty Island. Okay, and he is given the option to terminate, and that's what she does. Adrienne wanted that. When we asked her to be part of it, she said, I'd really like to do like a voice. And we have to admit, she's got one sexy voice. So, and she's a sweetheart. Yeah, she really is. She's just a wonderful, very nice, giving person. And she was very, and by the way, if you've met her at these cons, you know that Adrienne really doesn't like horror, which is really funny, since that's what she's a lot, pretty much known for. I mean, other than Maude and Swamp Thing, which she loves. But horror, she said the only real horror film I think she ever watched was Halloween, Sitting with John Carpenter. Imagine that. But that's a great front row seat. That's pretty good. So, but yeah, any other questions for anyone here? Kevin, do you have questions for the Dorkening? Go ahead.
I am kind of wondering, I know you went into like how you came about to be part of this movie. Can you maybe go a little bit deeper on how you were attached to this originally?
Yeah, I was attached when Rick Finkelstein and Stephen Chase of Entertainment Factory came to me through Michael Eisenstadt, an agent, He was Gunner's agent, and he came to me and they said, "Listen, we have a script. Gunner wrote this. Would you be interested in rewriting and directing?" And I said, "Well, I gotta hear what it's about first." But I was really flattered, especially look when they dropped Gunnar Hansen's name. It's like, yeah, I'm definitely interested. What an honor. So that's how I became attached to the project. But I think, Tony, you would know that the project had been around for a number of years before that, had it not?
At least 3 years, to my knowledge. But he had called me and talked about it one day. And originally I was supposed to be a different character or whatever, but I'm glad that we can work out Farmer Asa.
Me too.
Go milk your cows.
It's it's a really good role. Any other questions? Kevin, please, and now go to the audience.
One for Tony, of course. Seeing that scene, I saw it a little bit earlier. What do you do to prepare yourself for a character like that? Like, what do you pull from?
Well, the horror speaks for itself. I mean, anytime you do psychic surgery, that's going to make people scream. But I just wanted him to be, you know, if I had had a piece of straw, I would have had it. I wanted him. I loved the walking through the desert stuff, and we had to create the sounds that were coming from the grate because they weren't there on the day. We had to use our imagination. So hopefully we created that. And I loved the truck that they had. To me, it was part of an American Gothic thing, you know. So, not that we should beware of men in straw hats and suspenders and boots necessarily, but
some of them you should be.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And now, Harrison, you've been very vocal about like changing, like horror in general. Like you're bringing up that, you know, we're used to cookie cutter horror nowadays. Is there a particular thing that brought you to that conclusion? Like, there's something you remember?
Jaws the Revenge.
Okay. I didn't know if there was anything more recent than that.
No, and it's not about changing horror. Look, the industry just gives us what we ask for. You know, so when people go, "Oh, I hate remakes," well, then don't go see them. You know, that's really how it comes down, and then they'll stop making them. And here's the other thing: there's nothing inherently wrong with a remake. I like I said with Tony's remake of Night of the Living Dead. I mean, I'll say it. I think it's a fantastic remake, and one of the gold standards of which remakes should shoot for. I mean, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978, is a fantastic remake. You know, The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. So there's nothing inherently wrong with them. It's just when they just start cranking them out just to make the money and grab your cash and go. That's really my only complaint about it. There's nothing wrong with it if it's done properly, I guess is the word. And also with art. That's really what it should be. It should be artistic. You know? That's it. Not just a cynical cash grab. And that's... Go ahead.
You mentioned cynicism before. There's another phrase where repetition breeds contempt. Hollywood doesn't really care for horror. I mean, they sort of, if I go to my agent's office, you know, they say, "Oh, we received 2 scripts today, 2 are horror, 1 is dramatic, 1 is a comedy." They always try to like talk about the other stuff first. But the reality is that horror has always saved Hollywood from itself. It is the stuff that they can go to that makes money during the down times when they're busy trying to find another script, because for some reason they're saying that there are not enough writers out there. And I know for a fact that there are. They just like to use the same people and the same stories. There's another way of remaking a remake. They just change the plot, you know, and cast Jennifer Aniston again. I don't mean to pick on her, but you know what I mean.
No, I couldn't agree more, especially with that. Horror has also been demographically proven. In bad economic times, horror movies thrive.
All the way back to Universal.
That's right. King Kong saved RKO Studios. He was the ape that saved a studio. I mean, think about it. That movie made in its first initial run in 1933, $5 million when ticket prices were a dime. That's a lot of dimes. Okay? Saved that movie from bankruptcy. Universal, as Tony had said, Dracula, Frankenstein, all of these films during the Great Depression, they thrived. There's a reason for it. So yeah, it is. It's kind of a tread upon genre in the industry, and it's a shame because it doesn't have to be. And that's why you're all here. I mean, you're here for this reason, right? You love the genre. You love these people. You come up, you tell them all your stories, and that's what this is. Here's the bottom line. We're in a really messed up political time right now. I think everybody can agree with that. And I'm not going to talk about politics in that way because I don't care who you vote for or whatever. And I'm just saying that you can do more to unite a society through culture and its art than you ever will by forcing them through politics. You know what I'm saying? More people will gather around. Look at all this. Look, there's an R2-D2 walking around here or sitting out there, and everybody knows who he is. We know who Darth Vader is. We know who Tony Todd is. Like, he's a man that needs no introduction. Sid Haig, all of them. I mean, Tara's here. How many of you just saw the 4th Sharknado movie? Right. That's what I'm saying. But we know all of this. This binds us all in this room. That's why we're all here. So I'm doing a panel, which I drove 4.5 hours for, simply because I do want to spread that message. I believe in the film, and I believed in Gunner's vision. And yeah, we do want it to make money. We want to make more. That's what it comes down to. But we also want you guys to be happy and go, wow, yeah, they really did something cool here instead of just fleecing me and taking my money. That's not what we want to do. And if that means we take a risk, because I had one person tell me, I don't know, this isn't the usual, kind of script. Good. It shouldn't be. And that means all of you out there expect more, even from your children's entertainment. It doesn't have to be horror. It doesn't have to be movies. Expect better from your music. Holy cow, is the music industry in trouble? Okay? And most of all, maybe winding it back to politics, maybe if we expected a little bit better from our politicians, we wouldn't be in the freaking mess we are now. So think about that. Expect more. That's why we're here. Kevin, any other questions?
I was going to go into your career.
Sure.
It was brought up that you were a history teacher.
Yes.
What was it that this made you decide to switch careers when you did? Because
No.
You're fairly new to filmmaking.
All right, so how many of you out there want to get into movies? Okay, so here's the answer. Do it. That's it. And if somebody tells you you can't, then you keep going until you feel you've spent it enough. I wanted to make movies ever since my mother took me to see Jaws in 1975. Jaws was the movie that made me want to make movies. And when I walked out at the age of 7, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to make an audience applaud and scream and laugh. That's what I wanted to do. But I didn't have anybody in the industry to open up their Rolodex and get me in through a door of an agent or anything like that. So I worked at it. And I went to college, I worked as a teacher, and I worked at that, but in the summer, I was writing scripts and I was sending them out. And my now ex-wife, who I mentioned before, my ex-wife was like, you're never gonna do this. That's why she's my ex-wife. Okay? But wait, I'm not slamming her. What I'm saying is, she didn't think the industry would let me in. Actually, my ex-wife is a really nice person. I know you probably think, oh, he's just saying that. She really is. It's just, we didn't jive on what we believed in. And I told her, the day I picked up my teaching job, this is only for now. I'm not going to retire with a sheet cake and the pat in the back and thank you for 50 years of service. I'm going to make a movie. And I think she probably thought, okay, that's what you're going to do. Well, then I did. And I made the movie with Tara Reid and Cloris Leachman. And then I went to Corey Feldman with 6 Degrees of Hell. Then I did Camp Dread with Eric Roberts and Danielle Harris. And then I did Zombie Killers with Dee Wallace and Misha Barton and Billy Zane. And now I've done Death House with these fine people up here. So my only answer to you is on that, just do it. We live in a society now where everybody talks about doing everything. Everybody talks. Everybody's got a blog. Everybody's got a YouTube channel. But they're not doing anything. Do it. You want to be the best at whatever you want to do? And it doesn't matter. Look, I gave myself 2 years, Kevin, to do this. And if I wasn't making it in 2 years, I would have gone back to education because I need to keep the lights on and I need to be responsible. Okay? And it was what Mark Twain said. Go out and do what you love. If you're not making any money at it in 2 years, go chop wood. It's that simple. Kevin, any other questions?
I think I'm good.
Please.
I don't really have anything else.
Did you feel this was a worthwhile panel? Yeah. Thank you. Be sure to go to the tables of everybody. Tom Atkins is here. Sid Haig. Go to all these people and just drop them a line and thank them for the memories that they've given you. How many times you get a chance to do this? Stop by Tony's table and just say, thanks. That's what this is about. And most of all, thank you to Gunnar Hansen. Thank you, folks.